Hey, it's Nick. Welcome back to the channel. Out for another early morning ride today. Check out the amazing view. Got an exciting video for you today. Finally got to ride a Onewheel XR for the first time. So got some opinions on that coming up later on. And I was riding with my brother, so it was great to finally ride with another one-wheel rider for the first time as well. Enjoy the ride.
So I've had my pint for over a year now, and the reason I went for the pint over the XR was the price of the XR was probably the key thing. It was maybe a little bit too much of a risk for my first electric skateboard or one wheel. When I saw the pint come out, just saw how much of a nice improvement it was on the XR in terms of like the finished product look and feel. The little finishing touches they'd added, like the mag handle, the charge indicator, were really cool. That being said, I was kind of aware there's a bit of a trade-off obviously in terms of being like half the range on the pint. That's the biggest downside I suppose there is. Shortly after I got my pint, my brother decided to get an XR, and yeah, it was after seeing a few videos I'd done and just me telling him about how awesome this product was and how cool, because yeah, we've both grown up messing around on skateboards over the years and really enjoyed that, so this was just a kind of next progression really. It looked awesome, get that carving feeling, just floating around the streets and getting off-road and stuff with what you can do with this kind of single tyre. So yeah, he went for the XR, grabbed that extra range. He's got a commute that is actually kind of within the XR's kind of distance, and he's managed to commute it. I could never look at that as an option, and even the XR wouldn't do my commutes. It's just over 20 miles. But I have done some kind of half commutes with this thing, which has been great. Yeah, just kind of stop and save a few miles on the car and yeah, finish the journey up on the pint. first thing I noticed is just the extra stability that flat profile Vega tyre gives. And it's really, that's the key thing, jumping from the Pint to an XR. And I noticed that you do obviously trade off a bit of the nimbleness of the Pint, which I suppose on the Pint can feel nimble or a bit sketchy, depending on the situation. And then also the width, I get quite a bit of toe overhang on the Pint, so the size 10 UK shoes, so that's noticeable, kind of helps with the stability, I suppose. Carrying it around, weight, didn't really notice a massive difference. I know probably 2 kilos heavier the XR, but not a massive factor. I suppose just having to carry it differently because it's just got a knife handle. It's probably the only real drawback that you can knock out of an accessory. And then me and my brother both agreed the Pint seems to have it was just a bit more punchy at the low end on the torque, and this kind of showed in a couple of instances on the ride where I was able to carry on up the hill after the XR had given up, and we're both about the same weight, kind of 83 kilos thereabouts. That's one interesting thing. I suppose it probably comes down to a smaller tyre on the Pint, which helps with that turning force. That was great for especially the kind of terrain we were riding on, which was quite up and down. It was trails around some hills in a National Trust Park. Great to finally ride an XR. I was a bit worried about, with the extra speed, would I be able to keep up on my Pint? And that turned out not to be an issue. We happily rode together, and quite often I was kind of shooting off and leading the way. Perhaps it comes down to a bit more riding style and confidence on the board. Key thing you really notice on the Pint is just hitting that push back a bit sooner. So your nose starts to lift up and tell you you're close to the limit, back off a bit, which definitely for beginners is a good thing. Once you kind of done a good few miles on this and you feel pretty confident, you will kind of hit those situations where you're on perhaps a wide open smooth road and you feel like you're not going very fast and it's pushing back, and then you actually check your speed. I do on my watch on Strava and see, oh yeah, I'm at the upper end, it just doesn't feel like it. And then when you get down to like narrower kind of single track off-road terrain, it feels a lot faster, a lot sooner on the speed range. That's my thoughts. Hope you enjoy the riding.